Hi, I'm Saida Garrett, co-writer of Michael Jackson's Man in the Mirror, and you're listening to Rainbow Country with Mr. Mark Tara.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are those of the producers and or the persons appearing on the program.
Today on Rainbow Country, in Hour 1, Nail in the Coffin, the Fall and Rise of Vampiro, a documentary that follows semi-retired professional wrestler Ian Hodgkinson, aka Lucha Libre Legend VAMPIRO. Or is it Vampiro? We'll soon find out. I'll be joined by Ian Hodgkinson, aka Vampiro, and filmmaker Michael Paszt to talk about this compelling new Canadian documentary. Plus, Rainbow Country contributor, musician and activist Anna Gutmanis talks about the effects of COVID-19 on queer seniors. And in Hour 2, music from LGBT artists, independent artists, plus voices that you've come to know and love in classic disco, classic 80s, classic house. Stay tuned for Gay Talk Radio right here on Rainbow Country.
Hi, this is Carol Pope.
Hi, I'm Garrett Conley, author of Boy Erased, a memoir.
Hi, I'm Lorraine Segato.
Hi, I'm Gord Depp with the Spoons. You're listening to Rainbow Country with Mark Tara.
Welcome to Rainbow Country, as I like to call it, a little gay radio show working to give voice to the LGBT community and beyond. And as always, I am your tour guide through Rainbow Country. I'm producer and host, Mark Tara. Rainbow Country originates from CIUT FM in Toronto, the sound of your city, and now proudly in syndication across Canada on 9 stations, including Bombshell Radio, Love Your Indie, a 24/7 streaming outlet, and Real Music, Real Ideas, Real People, CKUW-FM in Winnipeg. The Juice, CJUC-FM in Whitehorse. The Mighty, CKCU-FM in Ottawa. The voice of the Haliburton Highlands Canoe FM, Haliburton, Ontario's cottage country. Located in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, CFCR FM. Newfoundland's only alternative, CHMR FM in St. John's, Newfoundland. And the latest station to carry Rainbow Country, proudly broadcasting to Kingston, Ontario since 1922. CFRC FM in Kingston. So, whether you are listening in the Yukon, the Prairies, Ontario's cottage country, Southern Ontario, even down to Buffalo, New York, the east coast of Canada in the Maritimes, in Newfoundland, or online, it's because of you tuning in, streaming, downloading, but ultimately listening, that has taken this little gay program and made it into a syndicated radio show and a #1 LGBT podcast. And last week, Rainbow Country was #3 on Podomatic's Gay and Lesbian chart. So, what's on tap for today? Well, a new Canadian documentary, Nail in the Coffin, The Fall and Rise of Vampiro, a documentary that follows semi-retired professional wrestler Ian Hodgkinson, aka Lucha Libre Legend VAMPIRO. The film reveals the harsh realities behind the glamour of the big wide world of wrestling and the price of fame. Ian Hodgkinson, aka VAMPIRO, and filmmaker Michael Paszt join me to talk about Nail in the Coffin. And in Hour 2, music from LGBT artists, independent artists, plus voices that you've come to know and love in classic disco, classic 80s, classic house. But up first, Rainbow Country contributor, musician and activist Anna Gutmanis talks about the effects of COVID-19 on queer seniors.
The plight of senior Ontarians in long-term care during the second wave of the pandemic has justifiably been in the news of late. Since one of the many things I've done over my years in social services is to co-facilitate workshops for caregivers on building compassion for LGBTQ seniors, I began to wonder if anyone had studied the present situation of queer seniors in care settings. I was very pleased to find that significant research has been published by Ontario Senior Pride. The organization's submission to the Long-Term Care COVID-19 Commission is subtitled A Call to Action, and it contains disturbing information. First of all, the report states that 2S LGBTQ+ seniors continue to be mostly invisible in LTC homes. Furthermore, data on the number of queer seniors who contracted COVID or died from it are not available. LTC administrators and staff already lack awareness about the health and social factors that make queer seniors more vulnerable to contracting the virus. And as if this weren't scary enough, queer seniors often experience harassment and abuse from other residents, staff, and volunteers. These seniors most often choose not to report such abuse during COVID outbreaks. The Ontario Senior Pride report calls for all LTC homes to adopt equity and anti-harassment policies that specifically include gender expression, gender identity, and sexual orientation. The fact that such basic policies largely do not exist is horrifying, as is the fact that queer seniors' spousal and chosen family relationships are often not recognized by LTC staff and admin. Of course, such ignorance increases the social isolation of queer seniors during COVID outbreaks. The report's recommendations to the Long-Term Care COVID-19 Commission demand many actions from the Ontario government, too many to talk about here. Many of the recommendations are similar to what the broader seniors advocacy community demands, such as accelerating the timetable to upgrade LTC homes. The province is failing all seniors miserably in not upholding the basic premise of the 2007 Long-Term Care Homes Act, which states, quote, "A long-term care home is primarily the home of its residents and is to be operated so that it is a place where they may live with dignity and in security, safety, and comfort, and have their physical, psychological, social, spiritual, and cultural needs adequately met," unquote. Thanks to Ontario Senior Pride, we now have a clear map of what needs to be done to make sure that our queer elders, the folks who fought on the front lines for the LGBTQ rights we enjoy today, are accorded the care, support, and dignity that they richly deserve. This is singer-songwriter and activist Anna Gutmanis for Rainbow Country. You can reach me at annagutmanis.com.
Bill 7. To ban discrimination in employment, government services, and housing based on a person's sexual orientation was up for a vote at Queen's Park. Most NDP and Liberal MPPs supported the bill, but without some progressive Conservative legislators' backing, a divisive split could rack the province. 4 PCs decided to break party ranks to vote with their conscience and support Bill 7. Cabinet Minister and MPP Dennis Timbrell did it to show solidarity for his beloved brother, the well-known drag queen Rusty Ryan. And for me, a gay politician who was not yet out, I had to take a stand. We were known as the Gang of Four. I'm former Cabinet Minister and MPP Phil Gillies. The date, December 2nd, 1986, when LGBT rights came to Ontario.
I'm Sandra Urian.
And I'm Danny Bensi.
And you're listening to Rainbow Country with Mark Tara.
Up next, filmmaker Michael Paszt and Lucha Libre legend Ian Hodgkinson, aka Vampiro, or is it Vampiro? Join me to talk about the new Canadian documentary, Nail in the Coffin. Okay, so are you both ready?
Yeah, ready to go.
Michael's like, what the hell is this?
No, it's all good. It's all good. We're used to everything. We're all good. Here we go.
Thanks for seeing me again.
Yeah, no problem. How many concussions you had?
I think 24.
How are you even walking?
When I started wrestling, I had a mission to become an iconic person in my industry.
Wrestling's your life, I know, I get it. But you gotta stop.
Where am I gonna go?
Get you out now, maybe your daughter has a dad to walk her down the aisle.
Yeah.
Ah, my little one, this is how it's done. You play your part, and I'll play mine.
He's never gonna stop being a wrestler, because that's who he is. But it's just a matter of time until he gets hurt badly, and that's something that I'm not ready for.
Ah, my little one, it'll be just fine. Your bruise will fade, and your bones didn't break.
I just don't know how to do anything else.
Ah, my little one,
This is exactly where I'm supposed to be.
it'll be just fine. Your bruise will fade.
This is home.
I think you should get braids back. They look so mint.
Michael Paszt, Ian Hodgkinson, aka Vampiro. Thank you both for being here to have your voices, your stories be heard by the LGBT community and beyond, especially when it comes to your new documentary, Nail in the Coffin, The Fall and Rise of Vampiro. Ian, you are Vampiro. But Michael, let's start with yourself. Nail in the Coffin. This is a documentary. And for you, Michael, this is a documentary about what?
I mean, ultimately, it's a documentary about family. I think that's first and foremost. I think that at the end of the day, you can wrestling is of course it's about an iconic wrestler, but at the end of the day, it's about a father and a daughter trying to get by, trying to make ends meet.
I agree with you. I've seen the documentary, and I have to say that for me personally, the documentary is about what you just said. It's about Vampiro's love-hate relationship with the ring, the wrestling ring, as well as the love for his daughter and him creating a stable home environment for his daughter while being an iconic Libra wrestler in Mexican wrestling.
I'm not a Libra.
So Ian.
Hey, Mark, I'm very sarcastic and don't take it there. I love life, man. And I'm laughing because it's Vampiro, not Vampiro. I had to say that. That's why we're smiling, because it was a joke my whole career that nobody can say it right. But
so how do you say it?
Vampiro.
Vampiro.
Vampiro. It's vampire in Spanish. Vampiro.
Vampiro.
So let's do it and I'll show up. Try it. I'm kidding.
So Ian, for yourself, this documentary is about what for you?
Wow. It's about a lot of things. It's about, originally it was about my life, my career. It turned into something between me and my daughter. I had to reframe my whole life. And over the last month and a half, I look at the movie different now. Now I originally in my mind, I had it as when I'm not here anymore, my daughter's going to have something. Well, how about if I reframed it and I fixed myself now so that I can tell my daughter her dad is here today. She doesn't need to wait till I'm gone to know who her dad was. So I'm more involved in my daughter's life now. And I was able to fix myself as a person because I saw the person on the screen, and I don't want to be that person. I don't ever want to be anything like that person ever again. And so that the way I look at the movie now is probably the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. It was an intervention from God. It put us all together, and it saved my life.
So, Michael, this documentary, how did this documentary, Nail in the Coffin, how did this come about?
Well, I guess first and foremost, I'm a fan of wrestling. I was living in Mexico City. I moved to Mexico City, and I wanted to meet this icon, this legend at the time in Mexico City was Vampiro, and because I knew he was Canadian, and I wanted to meet up with him, and so we met up. I got to know him, and then fast forward 15 or so years later, and I bumped into him at the airport, and he told me he was up to, and I was blown away. The fact that he was commuting from Thunder Bay on an airplane, obviously on an airplane from Thunder Bay to Mexico City every week was just mind blowing. The fact of it was that he had to be back Sunday night to take care of his daughter, and that for me that was like that was the seed for the documentary.
And when was that, like, time frame?
About 3 years ago, I guess.
Okay.
It takes we were filming for about 2 to 3 years.
I think it was 4 years ago, bro.
Maybe 4 years. Yeah. Well, I kind of just wipe out, 2020 as well.
Yeah. So, Ian.
Yes.
The title of the documentary, Nail in the Coffin, The Fall and Rise of Vampiro.
Hey, look at you.
Look at me.
Yeah.
The story behind the title. Is there a story behind the title, and what is it?
Okay. Well, yes, there is. I'll try to keep it short. The gentleman in the movie, my best friend, Robert, who passed away, when we were both really young and we were in Los Angeles in the 80s, we used to go to the Beverly Center religiously because we didn't know what we were doing here. We're trying to find our way. And they had a video arcade there. And we would play the NBA Jams basketball game. And I would always win because I'm just that kind of guy that I have to. I'm kidding. But in the game, if you made the winning shot, they would say, and there's the nail in the coffin. So since that time, as a tribute to my friend who passed away, I used to do a certain move set in wrestling that would be the finish of the match. So to advise the public at home that it was over, and you're kind of educating them that we're going to commercial or something, they needed a catchphrase for me. So I said, well, that's like a spike. I'm a vampire, nail in the coffin. It kind of sounds pretty cool. So every time that I would set up for that finishing move where I'd pick a guy up and I'd slam him down and I'd sit with him, that was the nail in the coffin. So the movie, as I was dying, literally, every single day was another nail in the coffin for me because of the medicines I was taking, because of the horrible physical condition I was in, the mental health stuff. So when Michael said, what do you want to call your documentary? And I said, the documentary is called, there is no negotiation on this one, Nail in the Coffin. And then we said, The Fall and Rise of Vampiro. And I said, well, it sounds better that way because it's not the rise and fall. It was the fall. And, well, I'm 120 pounds lighter. My mental health, I'm dominating it, and I'm schooling it in life. My daughter and I are very close. I got a great bunch of people around me. I'm on your show. So how could I not be happy? So the movie was a celebration of somebody about to be reborn.
Powerful words.
I'm on fire.
So, Michael, the footage in the film, in the documentary, goes back to the 80s up to, I think, 2018.
Mark, can you say that again? Sorry, can you just say, so Michael, can you say that one more time?
So Michael?
Yes! Dude, you're awesome.
Okay. So, Michael, talk to me about the footage and how you guys got that footage. How long did you film for? Where you got that footage?
I mean, I think that's the beauty of documentary and working with a great editor. We worked with Danny Palmer from Vice, and we just kind of start hunting. And I think the great thing with Ian is that he's had the camera following him for the past 20, 30 years of his life. He's always following him. So there's a lot of archive material to go into. And when we were taught, like the gold that we ended up finding was with his daughter when she was, like 4 or 5 years old. And I ended up speaking with a producer who had filmed some stuff, and he never used it. And he ended up reaching out to me and says, "Oh, I know you're working on this project. I have this footage. Would you be interested in seeing it?" And for us, it was amazing to have that.
Was that from the 2006-7
No,
footage?
This was probably about 2000 and no, maybe around yeah, I guess that's what it was around that time. Maybe a little bit earlier, a bit older. I can't remember exactly, but it was from when she was like 4 or 5 years old. And of course, when we started filming her, she was 17, 18. So it's really nice to have that latitude to see him. Especially when he's talking to her on the cell phones back, like nothing's changed for Ian. His dedication to her when she was 4 or 5 is like even more so when she was 17, 18 and now, which it's incredible to see that.
Don't drive like I drive.
No.
Break all the rules and drive too fast and all the things that you're not supposed to do. You have to go on the 16th and pick your courses, your classes. I would rather you just go out there and see what happens. I know you'll make something happen, but I did that, and I'm paying for it now. Even though
at least you're living your life, doing what you want. Like you don't.
But it's not easy, Dash. It's
I know
tough.
it's not easy, but at least you're doing it. I think a question is the fact of why you keep on going back to wrestle if you don't like it.
Ian, talk to me about your tattoos. When did you get into being inked, so to speak?
Around the 1981 or 82, I really got into alternative music a lot. And, I was really into the Sex Pistols and the Clash and the Ramones. But when the Stray Cats came out, my dad was kind of a rockabilly looking guy. He was a truck driver in the 50s and 60s. So he had the pompadour and he listened to that kind of music. But my dad was not like an Elvis Presley guy. My dad was a Jerry Lee Lewis, Johnny Cash, a little bit more darker, a little bit more rougher on the edge of the themes, right? Because back then, the things they sang about was a little bit darker, drug use, running with the devil, all these things that really don't mean much today. But back then, it was this strong music, right? So I grew up that way my whole life. And my dad had tattoos. So when I saw the Stray Cats on this television show called Fridays, I think it was 1981. And that was like the competition for Saturday Night Live. And being that it was Los Angeles and punk rock was booming around that time in Los Angeles, they had bands like X, they had Devo, they had the Clash. And then all of a sudden they had the Stray Cats. And the Stray Cats were just rockabilly'd out. And they all had tattoos. The next day I started getting tattoos. I actually have one that's so old that you can't tell what it is anymore. But I know exactly what it is. And I got it on Queen Street all the way down in a Ukrainian part of town. The guy's not even alive anymore. And it was like done with a hammer and a chisel, let me tell you. Didn't feel good, but I got them.
So Ian, let's stick with yourself. Let's talk about wrestling, specifically Lucha Libre Wrestling. You are an icon in Lucha Libre Wrestling. What is Lucha Libre Wrestling?
Okay. Well, I'm not an icon anywhere. And I'm flattered that people say that. I've been around so long that I could be a light post. You know what I mean? I'm just a lucky guy who was in the right place at the right time. There's nothing iconic about me. I'm blessed. That's what it is. But Lucha Libre, the literal translation of that means free fighting, free wrestling. Lucha, everybody associates that word with wrestling, but lucha means combat. Libre is free. So it's free combat, meaning there's no discipline. You can compete with anybody. So wrestling, lucha libre, wrestling freestyle, it's freestyle wrestling. So it's over 200 or 300 years old, this institution in Latin America. So it meant something very significant back then. And today it just means free fighting. That's kind of it.
And you worked at AAA Wrestling?
Yes.
In Mexico. And basically that's like the WWE of Mexican wrestling. Is that fair to say?
That's pretty fair. It's close. Different budgets, but the intention is.
So growing up, you were a hockey kid and you were on path to potentially being a professional hockey player. And then at some point you turned to wrestling. You pivoted to wrestling. What happened? What made you go from hockey to wrestling?
You wouldn't remember a movie called Beat Street, would you? Or Breaking?
Yeah, okay. I know of it, yes.
All right. When that movie came out, I saw the streets of New York. From the streets of New York at that time. I was so enamored with street culture. And there was a TV show. J.D. Roberts was the host of it before he went to CNN. It was called The New Music, and it was from TV in Toronto.
With Jeannie Becker as well.
Exactly. And
Much Music.
Teenage Head, I saw them on there, the Bobcats, all the local alternative music scene from Toronto. So to me, that was like going to England or going to New York City. Like Toronto, Yonge Street, Queen Street, you know the corner where Much Music is, right around there where they have shows, and then you go down to the Horseshoe.
And Speaker's Corner. Can't forget Speaker's
I would go
Corner.
To the Horseshoe all the time, and I would see like Robert Gordon. I would see Jerry Lee Lewis. I would see these bands, and I was like 13 years old, but I was really big, so I could get in. So when that movie came out, I sold my hockey equipment, and I went to the streets of Toronto with a piece of cardboard, and I was looking for African Americans who were breakdancing because I wanted to be a breakdancer. I didn't find anybody, but I went and did it. And I was just walking around the street. I had nothing because back then, for $100, you can get a student pass, and you can fly on Air Canada as many times as you wanted in the month on standby, anywhere in the country. So I got one of those, and I would come back and forth to Toronto. Like I wouldn't even go to school. I'd take a flight in the morning. I'd go to Toronto, I'd hang out, and I'd come back. And my mom was like, "How was school?" I was like, "Fucking awesome." I hope she doesn't see this because there's a lot she doesn't know about me, and that's one of the things. But I would go, and I couldn't find it. And I was trying to see where it was hip on Queen Street at that time. And as I got down farther and farther, everybody says X-rays. "Oh, you know Dan Aykroyd?" I said, "Yeah."
Oh, yeah.
You know, he has that club. So, and I was looking at all these, and then I started seeing guys that looked a little bit more rock and rollish. So I started gravitating to that area, and I saw the Horseshoe. Once I went into the Horseshoe nightclub, and I didn't see Teenage Head, but I saw a local band. Actually, I saw a band, the Forgotten Rebels. I don't know if you've heard of them. They're from Hamilton. They're, to me, that's top tier. So I saw this punk rock thing happening, and that changed me. I said, I can combine my love for sports. I've got a place to get all my mental health issues out, my anger of being a young man growing up differently and nobody understanding me. Just because I started dyeing my hair and cutting it short, wearing different clothing, getting tattoos, that I was stigmatized, and I just couldn't deal with it. So in my generation of alternative music, when I started getting into it, the bands would play in, I'm not sure if this is the right term anymore, so if it's offensive, I'm sorry, it's not meant to be. But we would only be allowed to play in the gay nightclubs because that was our audience. Everybody would dress up, and the New York Dolls, the Ramones, Iggy Pop, we all came from that area, hence the fashion sense. And do you remember the Lizard Lounge? Do you remember?
No. The name sounds familiar.
Okay, it was a special club.
Okay.
It was a special club. There was a lot of black leather in there, and there was a lot of people chained to the wall.
An S&M club?
Yeah, well, on some nights, but and I was the doorman there. When I was the doorman there, all the alternative bands that would come into town would play there or hang out there. So it was just a given that I was supposed to be around that stuff, and that was a huge influence on me. So when that happened, I couldn't let go of sports, and I had to be around that alternative fashion. And I saw pro wrestling as a great way to mix athleticism and my desire to be part of something so creative, and I did that.
And did the Road Warriors inspire you to get into wrestling?
100%. Yeah. Just that big, strong, Mad Max had come out, and I was into all these things. And when I saw the Road Warriors, they were real life monsters.
Right.
They were just 300-pound guys, and they were mohawks and face paint, and just would hurt people. I said, I got to go be a part of that. Because of the people, the reaction that they provoked in the people. That's what inspired me to be an entertainer. I didn't give a shit about the violence. It makes no difference to me. I just wanted to get out there and rock. Yeah. So sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
So you end up going down to Mexico. You end up joining, at some point, AAA, that company, I'm sure, down there to get into wrestling. And then in the late 90s, the 2000s, you make the switch to WCW. Personally, that's where I know you from.
Okay.
And
were you a fan? Are you a fan of wrestling?
Yes, of course. Okay. Who isn't?
Me? What? Who? What?
I said, who isn't a fan of wrestling? Whether they want to admit it or not.
I don't know. I don't know who that could be.
You're not a fan? You were in it.
Okay.
But anyway,
I'm appreciating it now. So I went through some times. Yeah.
So
I went to WCW. Yeah.
You went to WCW and you worked with icons like Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair. Why did you make the jump from AAA to WCW? Why did you end up going there?
Because I wanted those guys to have a chance to work with an icon. I'm kidding. Because I needed a change. I burned out in Mexico mentally. I was just over it. And I wanted to grow. And I had been at the top in Mexico for about 9 or 10 years straight. And it was only a matter of time before that was going to come crashing down. So instead of being victim to that, when it was time, and I had just gotten married and I wanted a different life. And in Mexico, as I said, I kind of ran I did everything. So it was time, and it was phenomenal. I was fortunate. I believed in myself. No one else believed in me. They didn't believe in me. They treated me as a joke when I got there, but I schooled it, and I did well. I did really well because the fans saw my authenticity.
And
so that's
ultimately, why did you leave WCW?
Because I broke my neck and I became almost a paraplegic because of it. And my brain left the cavity and it turned. And when it came back, because of the meds they were giving me, it was so swollen, it didn't go correctly into the cavity. And it was the start of my fall. So I was really sick and I was really hurt. And as that happened, my daughter was born, my wife left me, and I broke my neck. I was in paraplegic state, almost a vegetable, and WCW went out of business. They got sold. So that was it.
Wow. How are you feeling today?
Fucking awesome. I'm so awesome. My life is dope, brother. I am so, brother, sister, I'm not sure. Doesn't matter. Mark, you're inside here. You see what I'm saying? It is what it is, I just love life. I'm happy. I'm alive. I have opportunities. I got projects going. I'm part of another project, which is the second part of that documentary. Michael, you're going to get a phone call about that. So clear your schedule soon, kid. And I'm on fire, man. I'm fucking loving life, dog. I get to wake up every single day and have a new adventure. I got this trauma in my brain that's really affected me, but I've kind of overcome everything but the short-term memory. So every day it's brand new. I mean, I'll talk to you tomorrow and I won't even remember this interview. I'll remember you though, but I just forget things. Yeah. And like I play the same video game every day and it's brand new. And even though I finish it, as soon as I turn it off and I come back from the kitchen with the snacks, I got to start all over again because I don't remember. And I love that. It's so much fun because everything's new and exciting always. And it's just great. I absolutely adore the fact that everybody points at me and says, you really have brain trauma? And I said, fuck yeah, man. Don't try to fix that shit because then you're going to change the fun I'm having. Leave me alone. Let me enjoy life.
Stay tuned in because my conversation with filmmaker Michael Paszt and Lucha Libre Legend, try saying that 3 times fast, Ian Hodgkinson continues right after this.
Hi, I'm Garrett Conley, author of Boy Erased, a memoir. You're listening to Rainbow Country with Mark Tara.
So, attention film lovers. The TIFF Next Wave Film Festival goes nationwide virtually February 12th to the 15th. First of all, you might be asking yourself, what is TIFF Next Wave Film Festival? Well, Next Wave is a festival geared towards film lovers, especially younger film lovers, or those young at heart. One of the films I'm going to bring to your attention is a documentary called Unapologetic, which follows 2 young black activists and their fight for justice, the realities of police brutality, and the strength one finds in the face of oppression. TIFF Next Wave Film Festival runs virtually nationwide February 12th to the 15th. For the full roster of films, tickets, and information, tiff.net/nextwave.
Hello, I'm recording artist Teruz. You're listening to Rainbow Country with Mark Tara.
Get back?
Yeah, I'm dying to get away from wrestling. They keep fucking booking me, but I did something on purpose. I told one of the guys in the back, I said, I'm gonna when you go out there, grab me and suplex me, but Japanese style, which means just drop me on my head, basically.
Especialmente en el cuello. Él no puede tolerar esto. No. Lo tiene en todo lo alto y parece que va. Oh no.
Ian was damaged when he came to see me, right? Like all those years of wrestling, all those concussions. The way I remember, I don't know if Ian remembers the same way, but we had done a bunch of x-rays because he was just hurting all over. I remember walking in there in the room and I was like, how are you even fucking walking?
It's like, vamp, you're 50, you got arthritis, you can't walk, you can't even do a push-up, you can't comb your hair, your body's fucked. You got 86% of your body's got chronic arthritis, you got 25 concussions, you've broken your nose 16 times, your eye socket 4, your back, your neck, every fucking thing on you doesn't work. Why are you doing this? Because I just need to see if I can one more time.
You lose consciousness on this thing?
No, but I couldn't close my hands. I couldn't put my shoes on. I couldn't pull my pants up.
Yeah, no, you can't be doing that. The older you get, the less you bounce too. You have to think about it. The more brain injuries or bone injuries in general that you get, you're not going to recover from them. So I think probably, he's a couple concussions away from dementia if he keeps going, and I don't want him to do that.
So, Michael, you are a director, you're a producer, you're an executive producer. You actually executive produced 2019's dramedy James versus His Future Self. And I had on Jonas Chernick, that was a co-star of that movie. Funny movie, especially the penis scene in that movie. Very funny.
Yes, James versus Future Self, yes.
Yeah, so talk to me about 2017 Mexico City in a stadium with 22,000 fans, the 25th anniversary of AAA wrestling in Mexico. You guys filmed that for the documentary?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So talk to me about that. How did that come about?
Well, I mean, the great thing was that because Ian was, the booker, the producer of AAA at the time, he got us full access to the show, which was amazing. When you're filming, you have to be very, we can't have a big crew. So it was just basically two of us that were filming. It was Pasha Patricki, who was on the camera, and myself, and we got dropped in. We got parachuted into this 25th anniversary event, and yeah, it was it was a massive event, and you got all these guys. And it's organized chaos. That's the best way I can describe it, because it's completely insane, and high pressure. And we were very fortunate enough to be like a camera, just like a fly on the wall. We just kind of, we captured a lot of unique moments behind the scenes that a lot of people don't normally get to see. I think we were the first camera crew actually allowed behind the curtain at a Lucha Libre Mexican sort of big event like that. So we're very fortunate. But to see all those, egos and just, personalities, it's you have to really kind of be careful as you're filming. And then we were just sticking beside Ian wherever and drama would follow him as he basically walked around, as you could see in the film.
So Ian, talk to me about that event. How long were you working on that event for? Because I believe it was a pay-per-view event.
2 years. Yeah, I put the stories in play 2 years before, and that was the climax of when I got hired to do that job. I got hired to straighten the ship out and get it on track and get it out of the red, get it making money, get the guys working. And I started a storyline 2 years before that, so that if the next with Triple Mania, we carried that my storylines on for 2 years, and it was so intensely potent that night. Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
And we see you directing. We see you breaking up fights. All this is in the documentary. It's fantastic. But how challenging is that for you to be there behind the scenes? Did you want to be out front at all? On the stage, fighting, wrestling at that point?
I don't know. I don't know. I just know that I feel very comfortable being in the eye of the hurricane. The more traumatic the scenario, meaning the more animated things are, the more drama that there is, that's when I'm my calmest. And it doesn't faze me. It bothers me when there's no drama, because then I have to look for it. I have to pay attention, and I'm not focused on my work. I know I've been doing this since I was 14. I'm 53. So there's nothing about this that phases me. I've seen people die in the dressing room. I've seen people die in the ring. I've seen babies be born in the dressing room. I've seen people get married in the wrestling ring. There's nothing that can happen. I've lost power. We've been invaded in a gunfight by two narco groups shooting at each other during a match. I mean, there's nothing that blows me away about wrestling. What makes me step back and look at that is you have a room full of people that are all suffering PTSD. Every single one of them, not because of injuries, but it is one of the most stressful industries to work in, because you're constantly looking for support from your better half. You call your wife or your daughter, your kid, maybe 50 times before you go in the ring. Do I look okay? Is this okay? Do you know I love you? Please pray for, you just get into this thing. And you're worried about remembering the match, and you're looking at the card, and you got to do better than who's after you and before you. You got to earn your place. It's just the ball of stress that comes with being a pro wrestler before the show. So of course there's tension backstage, because you have to do what you got to do to be able to get into that state of mind to go out there and hit a home.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of personalities, and he is really good at sort of, balancing it and sort of, being that sort of that manager for all those personalities that go on in the ring and behind the scenes.
But I think where I'm at with the relationship with my daughter right now, there's so much trust that she's actually teaching me to start to learn how to let her go. She's kind of like, let me grow up. And it's, I was never ready for it. I don't know. I'm trying to be a good dad. And it's tough. It's got to be tough for her to have Vampiro as a father, I think. Oh man, this is the best news all day. Hola, Dasha. ¿Cómo estás, bebé? She's like, stop calling me. Leave me alone. And I'm like, well, I'm just trying, I send her a message. She's like, fuck that, I'm fine. So, yeah, but I'm not. So, you got to understand, this isn't for you, it's for me too, I'm on all this fucked up stuff that I do. It's so that you're going to be okay. She goes, well, then let me be okay. And I'm like, okay. It's weird. It's weird. I thought it would be harder for her, and it's not. It's hard for me. It's real hard for me. I don't know what's going on.
One of my favorite parts of Ian's life, which you didn't talk about yet, is about Milli Vanilli, and we could make a whole documentary about Ian and his time as a bodyguard when he was there with all of them before before it was all kind of exposed and all of that and the things that he took from them is amazing, and the stories, oh my God.
Ian, didn't they inspire
everything? the suit, the braids.
Yes,
they had a style. They looked amazing. They looked phenomenal. They were handsome. They were in great shape. They had that. Mm-hmm. They had a European style. Mm-hmm. Nobody had seen the braids presented like that. And I watched from the side of the stage. I went to the nightclubs and I watched the people react to the machine that was MTV at that time. And those guys were in the right place at the right time. Mm-hmm. And usually on stage, their concert was 4 or 5 songs because that's all they had. And it was the MTV tour. So every artist got that little, 4 or 5 songs. Yeah. So what I got from that was, you have 20 minutes to rock the world. Nobody cared about the entrance. I mean, the music. Everybody cared about the entrance and the exit. The emotion of seeing these guys, and then the emotional, please don't go. And that's how I built Vampiro. I can't wrestle, but I can certainly move you when I come out, and I can certainly make you cry for me when I leave. So I learned how to do that. And everybody was so worried about being a good wrestler when I was worried about being a good showman. And that's kind of where it all came from. And I got that from Milli Vanilli.
So, Michael, let me ask you this. When people see this documentary, Nail in the Coffin, what would you like your audiences to come away with?
Well, I think at the end of the day, it's not to look at it as just a wrestling documentary. That's the most important thing, is not to see it as a wrestling documentary, but you see it as a documentary about family, about a father trying to raise his daughter.
And Ian, for yourself, after audiences see this documentary, Nail in the Coffin, what would you like your audiences to come away with, Ian, after seeing it?
Well, I'd like them to know what I'm up to now, because I am a whole different person. And within a year, I've changed my life, the way I look, the way I think, the projects that I have going on now. And I beat this mental health. I'm beating it. So I'd like them to see what I'm doing now, which is my radio station in Canada. I have podcasts. I do 8 a week in 2 languages. I'm creating a lot of content, visual content for my TV channel that I have finally up and running. So I'm very dedicated to what's going on. And I do a lot of interacting with the fans. I do live call-ins, like I do my podcasts live most of the time. And I invite the fans on and I interview them. So I really, really want to continue being Vampiro, but in a different light, and helping people, supporting people, guiding people. So I'm on my way to Canada to set my studio up there, and I'm just going to really go for it because I have a gift of motivating people, of connecting with people. And I want people to know that if you do the work, you can pretty much beat any illness. If you live your life being non-judgmental and just worry about doing acts of kindness without worrying about getting anything in return. And it doesn't matter who does what people's sexual orientation are, preferences, or religious preferences, or any of that. It's all the same thing, man. Under the stars at night, we're all brothers and sisters. So I'm just trying to be somebody who shares light and love and heals people that way and continues my adventures. And I want to share that with everybody. And hopefully they can take something impactful and positive out of that.
And Ian, what's the name of your podcast? What's the name of your show?
Well, right now, it's on every friggin' platform on the planet, but it's just Radio Vampiro. If you punch, and I name my shows because I'm trying to educate people that I'm not going to be talking about wrestling. I do have a wrestling podcast. It's called Buried But Not Dead. And that's about the mental health side of pro wrestling. So, I mean, I'm just trying to cover as many bases as I can. So Radio Vampiro, and it's either in Spanish or English. And it's kind of, you just punch in Radio Vampiro and you'll see all I'm doing. So that's what I really would hope people would know, that it's a safe place. It's non-judgmental. I have zero tolerance for bullying or rude comments or people trying to pick a fight by debating. It's not allowed. Coexisting and co-creating is, but all the other bullshit, it's just not happening. Can't do it.
Michael, Ian, thank you both for your time. Thanks for being on the show.
That's it. Oh, man. Okay. All right. Thank you. Big hugs. Michael, headbutts. Bam.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for seeing me again.
Yeah, no problem. How many concussions you had?
I think 24.
How are you even walking?
When I started wrestling, I had a mission to become an iconic person in my industry.
Wrestling's your life, I know, I get it. But you gotta stop.
Where am I gonna go?
Get you out now, maybe your daughter has a dad to walk her down the aisle.
Yeah.
Ah, my little one, this is how it's done. You play your part, and I'll play mine.
He's never gonna stop being a wrestler, because that's who he is. But it's just a matter of time until he gets hurt badly, and that's something that I'm not ready for.
Ah, my little one, it'll be just fine. Your bruise will fade, and your bones didn't break.
I just don't know how to do anything else.
Ah, my little one,
This is exactly where I'm supposed to be.
it'll be just fine. Your bruise will fade.
This is home.
I think you should get braids back. They look so mint.
So there you have it. It's official. Vampiro. Vampiro, darling. Vampiro, not Vampiro. Those guys were fun. By the way, Nail in the Coffin, The Fall and Rise of Vampiro is available on Rogers, TELUS, Shaw, Bell, Apple TV, Amazon Prime Video, and more. Check it out. You won't be disappointed. Taking us to hour 2 of Rainbow Country, released on September 19th, 1983, reaching number 1 on Billboard's Dance Club chart, and reaching number 9 in Canada. Shannon, let the music play.
He tried pretending our dance was just a dance, but I see he's dancing his way back to me. Yes, he discovered we are truly love is magic from the very start. 'Cause love just can't be proven and it don't be moving even though we danced apart. So we started dancing and love put us into the groove.
Hi, my name is Joanne Vanicola, and I'm an actor and a writer, and I was first on Rainbow Country with Mark Tara on discussing the massacre at Pulse Club in Orlando. I realized how important it was for our community to have a radio station, specifically for our issues, to talk about people in the LGBTQ community and to provide an outlet for our stories, to discuss our politics, culture, and give voice to the issues that matter to us. and of course our artists and the things that we do globally, and talk about culture. And without people like Mark Tara providing a space for this with a radio show like this, then we wouldn't have that voice. So support, tune in. Thank you.
Hi, this is Police Constable Danielle Botno, also known as LGBT Cop, and you're listening to Rainbow Country with Mark Tara.
This is hour 2 of Rainbow Country, where I feature music from LGBT artists, independent artists, plus voices that you've come to know and love in classic disco, classic 80s, classic house. So if you stay with me, if you stick with me, I hope you think I'm bringing you music worth hearing. Starting us off, a 3-song Canadian new wave set.
You know my number, but forget to call. Blood on my feet from walking the wall. I got your message loud and clear. Jump in the car, forget to steer. Chinese graffiti sells your politics. There's red ink on your fingertips. Chinese graffiti make me so wise. Take all my theories and cut them down to size. I've got no patience, I've got no time. Lost all my fortunes except for a dime. I call on distance, she places my call. I got the number off a beacon wall. Chinese graffiti, oh, don't make a sound. Spreading my profile all over town. Chinese graffiti, what do you say? Let's give it up, let's call it a day. I thought I knew what we were about. I read the wall, now I got my doubts. So suicidal, I'm feeling down. There's talk of revolution, it's all over town. You know my number, but forget to call. Blood on my feet from walking the wall. I got your message, got it loud and clear. Jump in the car, forget to steer. Chinese graffiti, who make me so wise. You take the scissors and cut all my ties. Chinese graffiti, I heard what you said. Your propaganda, but it's making me red. Yeah, it's making
We just heard Chinese Graffiti, Radio Silence, Don't Walk Past. Those 3 tracks from Canadian new wave band Blue Peter. And you can find out even more about Blue Peter at their website, bluepeterband.com. Up next, a 3-song a cappella set.
Deo, oh Mateo, Mambo G.I.O. Don't look any further. Deo, oh Mateo, Jambayo, Bayo. Don't look any further.
Someone to count on in a world ever changing. Here I am, stop where you're standing. What you need is a lover, a man to take over. Oh girl, don't look any further. When you think of all the chances that we won't be in a state of mind to be careless, looking for the right thing. Oh baby, don't look any further. Tonight, we're gonna taste a little paradise. Rock you all night long, rocking all night long. I'll still be looking in your ebony eyes, and we'll go on and on and on and on.
Oh Mateo, Mambo G.I.O. Don't look any further. Deo, oh Mateo, Jambayo, Bayo. Don't look any further. Someone to count on. In a world that'll change. Here I am, stop where you're standing. Don't you go. What you need is a lover.
What you need
to love you all over.
and over and over.
Don't look any further.
I'm telling to the y'all.
Now me get the understand, say you a look for your man, but this is not a rap, it's like an application from the one Mr. Monroe born Jamaican with the loving on my heart and the mic in my hand. Now when it comes to loving, I'm a champion, phenomenon, one the diggity done for your satisfaction. Forget some ragamuffin loving all night strong. No bother look no further if you want action.
Tonight, we're gonna taste a little paradise.
All night long, rocking all night.
I'll still be looking in your ebony eyes, and we'll go on and on and on and on.
Oh Mateo, Mambo G.I.O.
What you say?
Don't look any further.
Tell me all
Deo, oh Mateo, Jambayo, Bayo. Don't look any further.
No.
Deo, oh Mateo, Mambo G.I.O.
Don't look any further. Say that.
Deo, oh Mateo, Jambayo, Bayo.
Say that I'm right. Don't look any further.
Deo, oh Mateo, Mambo G.I.O.
Don't
look any further. Deo, oh Mateo, Jambayo, Bayo. Don't look any further. Baked potato.
It's so necessary when my nerves get cooked to keep me rocking on steady when my soul gets sick. Ooh, you make a good thing better, baby. Take me to your safe shop baked potato, 'cause it feels so good. Baked potato, just the way I like it. Honey, you're my only appetite. Come on and bake potato on a cold, cold night. Everybody needs a sanctuary. Everybody needs to scream. Sidewalks are violent. Mother Nature's being challenged. Show you a place where we can let off some steam. Won't you get it under my skin, baby? Won't you warm it up my blood, yeah? Take me for a roll in the mud. Make it sizzle when you go baked potato, 'cause it feels so good. Baked potato, just the way I like it. Honey, you're my only appetite. Come on and bake potato on a cold, cold night. When the wind high, when the rain comes down, when the hurricane rise, ooh, I wanna come inside. Little baked potato. Ooh, you make a good thing better, baby. Won't you warm it up my blood, please? Take me for a roll in the mud. Make it sizzle when you go baked potato, 'cause it feels so good. Baked potato, just the way I like it. Honey, you're my only appetite. Come on and bake potato on a cold, cold night. Baked potato, 'cause it feels so good. Baked potato, just the way I like it. Honey, you're my only appetite. Come on and bake potato on a cold, cold night. Baked potato, 'cause it feels so good. Baked potato, just the way I like it. Honey, you're my only appetite. Come on and bake potato on a cold, cold night. Baked potato, 'cause it feels so good. Baked potato, just the way I like it. Honey, you're my only appetite. Come on and bake potato on a cold, cold night. All night under the laughing moon, my heart is beating soft and low. Love was here, but now it's gone. I'm by myself with my blue radio. A Spanish rose pressed in the book of dreams. It says it's time to go. Waiting for our favorite song. I fell asleep with my blue radio. All night long, the music still haunts me, just like laughter from a distant shore. And baby, baby, how your kisses still send me, even though I know don't want me no more. So all night under the lovely moon, I'll sing the only words I know. Hope I'll see you before the dawn shines its light on my blue radio.
We just heard Don't Look Any Further, Baked Potato, Blue Radio. Those three tracks from Canadian iconic a cappella group, The Nylons, and you can stream even more from The Nylons on Spotify. Up next, a 3-song DJ set.
Which queen? Which queen? Vicious motherfuckers. Vicious motherfuckers. Which queen? Which queen? Vicious motherfuckers. Vicious motherfuckers. Please realize that we all at one time or another have lusted to walk a ballroom floor. So give the patrons and the contestants, a round of applause for nerve. Cause with your vicious motherfuckers, it do take nerves. Believe me, we're not going to be shady, just feel.
Say who I am and all of that. I am Pepper LaBeija, the legendary mother of the House of LaBeija, not the founder. And it's important to me to be the mother because there's so many little kids that I have to look out for. Although they don't listen to me and they buck my authority, I still think I rule it pretty well. They like me. I'm one of the more popular ones. And I've been around for 2 decades, reigning, that is. I've got more grand prizes than all the rest.
Which queen? Which queen? Vicious motherfuckers. Vicious motherfuckers. 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 Vicious motherfuckers. Vicious motherfuckers. We're not going to be shady. Just fierce. Vicious motherfuckers. Which queen? Which queen? Vicious motherfuckers. 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 Vicious motherfuckers. We're not going to be shady, just feel.
Brothers and sisters, we are gathered here tonight to take you on a journey. We're going to take you on a journey of how gospel music became rock and roll. This next one was written and performed by a man who was a preacher, and he busked on the streets of Texas, and he was blind, penniless, and his songs are still sung today. His house that he had burned to the ground, and he had nowhere else to go, and so he used to sleep on his wet, rain-soaked bed in the Texas open air, and caught malarial fever, and a hospital wouldn't treat him because he was black, and so he passed away, but his music lives on.
We just heard Butch Queen featuring Pepa La Beja. Don't Never Change featuring Tammy Nielsen. Hobbies featuring Gavin Bradley. Those three tracks from Canadian DJ and producer Dwayne Menard. For even more on this artist, DwayneMenard.com. Up next, a 3-song Canadian new music set.
You ready, baby? Me too.
Yeah, I gotta push people out of my way to get a little bit closer, babe. I wanna feel the emotion, babe. A text from you, good morning, every day. Yeah, that's why I stay. I like to feel the devotion, baby. It's hard when you're living worlds apart. It's harder when you're here touching my heart. I wanna be closer to you, my lover. Closer to you. I wanna be closer to you, my lover. Closer to you. I wanna be a flight to you is still too far away. You got me crossing oceans. You're messing with my emotions. And now you're packing early. I thought you could stay. Yeah, for an extra day. You're messing with my devotion, baby. It's hard when you're living worlds apart. It's harder when I don't know if I'm in your heart. Closer to you, my lover. Closer to you. I wanna be closer to you, my lover. Closer to you. I wanna be
just like the way that made you mine.
Innocent arrivera Ipitara tillogo Kung alirega Roværge var bare Ej bomno du ret bare Agitang inavi Agitang inavi Agitang inavi We're doing this together I'ma write you a letter So that when we fight you can listen to this song Cause I don't wanna stay mad My love for you is strong When we're together everything alright Ain't nothing wrong It feels so comfortable being within your presence We're untouchable We just gotta stay patient Your smile illuminates a dark void in my soul I'm missing you when you're gone Not feeling whole There's a hole in my heart A piece that's missing You're in existence Clearly got me wishing That I was by your side At this present moment You're my person When I'm with you I feel important Innocent arrivera Ipitara tillogo Kung alirega Roværge var bare Ej bomno du ret bare Agitang inavi Agitang inavi Agitang inavi When I'm on the go, when you're on the go I lose my flow, feeling like I'm on the low Feeling like the clock is moving slow But I know we're just growing together We're working our way up to make our lives better Cause we're a team, ain't nothing better than you and me I'ma treat you with respect, treat you like a queen Ain't nothing that could come in between us With you I just can't get enough There's a hole in my heart, a piece that's missing You're in existence, clearly got me wishing That I was by your side at this present moment You're my person, when I'm with you I feel important Innocent arrivera Ipitara tillogo Kung alirega Roværge var bare
We just heard Closer, Joshua Shade James, an emerging Canadian artist originally from Kitchener-Waterloo, now based in Toronto. And to find out even more from this artist, check out his website, joshuashadejames.com. We also heard Precious Love from Chris Burkett, featuring performances from some of Toronto's best musicians, including Paul DeLong on drums, Bill King on keys, Gene Hardy on sax, and Taylor Abrahams on backing vocals. You can find out even more about Chris at his website, chrisburkettmusic.ca. Finally, in this set we heard Better With You featuring Asiva from Canadian Indigenous artist Shauna Cedinak, and you can find Shauna on Spotify. Up next, a 3-song jazz set.
Ba-boo-li-did-do it, da-doo-li-did-do it, ba-boo-li-did-do it, do it, and then do it again. Being a musician is absurd. Memorizing melodies and notes and words. Everybody tells you that you're crazy, but you're not willing to admit it. You wanna find the jackpot and you wanna hit it. Some people make millions, others sip. Others plant a seed for years, then let her rip. Sting of the cactus, you really must practice. Do it, do it, do it, and then do it again. Do it again, gentlemen. Dream is hard as hell. Heaven knows you want your dream to sell. Sting of the cactus, you always must practice. Do it, do it, do it, and then do it again. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-do it, boodly-ba-ba-da-do it. Ba-ba-doodly-ba-do it, do it, do it, and then do it again. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, and then do it again.
A boy and a girl fell in love long ago, but that love so lost its way. Though he wooed her and wooed her, in vain he pursued her. Every night the neighbors heard him say,
Lilette, Lilette, my little violet, won't you please come back, oh please come back to me. I can't forget that lovely night we met, and the way our lips met, oh so tenderly. Your eyes are like the bluest skies in spring to me. Your kiss must be an angel's kiss, 'cause heaven is what it brings to me. Lilette, Lilette, I'm gonna get you yet. And the day I do, I know you'll say I do. Your eyes are like the bluest skies in spring to me. Your kiss must be an angel's kiss, 'cause heaven is what it brings to me. Lilette, Lilette, I'm gonna get you yet. And the day I do, I know you'll say I do. Now don't you go stalling when I come a-calling at your front door, Lilette, I'm gonna get you yet. Woo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. He downed a sweet Bellini in the hometown of Fellini. He ordered fresh linguine with pancetta and rapini, but nothing could ever compare. to Bibimbap. He left for Nagasaki seeking 5-star teriyaki, the finest teppanyaki in hamachi nekimaki. But nothing could ever compare to Bibimbap. Bibimbap, Bibimbap, Bibimbap. Don't forget to crack the egg on the top. Bibimbap, 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 Bibimbap. Once you start to say it, you just can't stop. He flew to Barcelona where he sipped on a Corona to wash down the paella that he ate in Pamplona. But nothing could ever compare to Bibimbap. 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 Bibimbap, bibimbap, bibimbap. Much more fun than your average stir fry. Bibimbap, 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 bibimbap. Come on, give her a try. From sweet Santa Lucia down to marvelous Sofia, at every single place that calls itself Santa Maria. Nothing could ever compare to Bibimbap. Well, he liked it really spicy with sake really icy. Bibimbap.
We just heard Sting of the Cactus, Lalette, Bibimbap. Those 3 tracks from Canadian jazz artist Ori Dagan from his 2017 album, Nathaniel, a tribute to Nat King Cole. And by the way, in 2020, Ori Dagan was named by Now Magazine Reader's Choice #1 Best Local TikTok. For all things Dagan, check out his website, oridagan.com. Up next, one of my original tracks, I Want You. One of my original tracks, I Want You. Don't forget to keep up to date with all things country, Rainbow Country. Follow me on socials at Mark Tara Music. Do you have a guest suggestion, maybe a show idea? Maybe you would like to be a guest on Rainbow Country? Well, send me an email, mark@marktara.com. The podcast for Rainbow Country is available on all major platforms. The official Rainbow Country playlist is out on Spotify, and everything is hooked up at marktara.com. Finally, I want to take this time to thank you for taking your time to be with me. Remember, stay well, stay strong, stay safe.
Hi, this is Emily Saliers from Indigo Girls, and you're listening to Rainbow Country.